Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So Premier League football returns this weekend, but still Manchester United, just drama a day, isn't it, at the moment? Every single other day, there's a statement being released by Manchester United. Today, we've seen one released regarding Jadon Sancho and his position at the club after, obviously, Erik ten Hag's comments after the defeat against Arsenal, suggesting he wasn't quite doing it in training. Then we saw Jadon Sancho's post, which was pinned on his Twitter, basically saying the manager was lying about the situation. Subsequently, we saw Jadon Sancho fly off to New York. He was allowed to do that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was also with him in some time off during the international break. Subsequently, back in training now. We saw Anthony Martial turning up 4 hours early for training today. Someone's keen. Amidst all this talk about Sancho and his punctuality and all these different things and the stories that we've seen leaking since that statement was posted by Jadon Sancho, we've now seen a statement released by Manchester United saying Jadon Sancho will be on his own personal training program and will not be training with the first team squad. So what the hell is going on with Jadon Sancho? Will he ever play for Manchester United again? Will him and Erik ten Hag patch things up? Is he on his way out? I don't know. I feel like, and at the end of this video, I'll tell you how a little message to him and what he could do about the situation. But I do feel like it's all in Jadon Sancho's hands at this moment in time. Before we get stuck into all that, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Help us hit 150,000 subscribers on this channel. Now, as I said, where are we with Jadon Sancho? We've seen him not involved in the matchday squad against Arsenal. Then after the game, Ten Hag made a comment saying that he wasn't selected due to his performances in training. A pretty, neutral statement-ish. It was a neutral-ish statement. It wasn't too aggressive. It wasn't too, personal about Jadon Sancho. It was just based on training decisions. I didn't expect this to be the fallout of it. Jadon Sancho immediately responds on Twitter with his statement, which has since been deleted. Whether that was at the threat of potentially being fined by Manchester United, who knows? But we've seen that since deleted. And then Manchester United today released a statement, a very short statement, saying Jadon Sancho will remain on a personal training program away from the first team group, pending resolution of a squad discipline issue. So there's an issue there that's a squad discipline issue. And we've heard subsequent reports since then suggesting Jadon Sancho has had punctuality issues at Manchester United for a while. It was also an issue for him in Dortmund, also been an issue for him and affected his selection with England. And it's been something that has plagued his time at Manchester United. A very, very talented player, but has had these issues that have come up. And again, I question the timing of some of these reports because they've only come out when there's a real negative storm around it. Now, why weren't these stories coming out previously? Maybe, he was being protected by the club at that time. Who knows? But they've now come out, and it's believed Erik ten Hag was left infuriated and stunned by Jadon Sancho's post. Now, you can only feel Erik ten Hag's comments were maybe the last throw of a dice of a manager who has been pretty kind to Jadon Sancho last season, gave him 3 months off, allowed him to go away, recuperate physically, mentally, get on his own training program away from the club, welcomed him back with open arms. We saw the pictures being shared between the two. Everything seemed to be really rosy between the manager and the player. There didn't seem to be an issue. Maybe the manager has tried everything with Jadon Sancho. He's been really nice to him. He's shown him, the human side and shown him some love and affection and told him to go away, giving him all the time he needs at a crucial point in the season for Manchester United. And if that hasn't worked and that hasn't provoked the training performances and the performances on match day that the manager knows he can get from the player, then maybe he's thought, I'll try this approach now. The carrot's not working. I need to try the stick approach. And this is kind of obviously blown up in his face. It's caused a big scene. But you kind of feel like that's where the manager was. It feels like it was an overreaction from Jadon Sancho. And one where you look at the fallout from Anthony then being pulled out of the squad due to his issues. And you think Jadon Sancho just bit his tongue and held tight for a bit. Is looking like a shoe-in for the position, can fight for his spot back into the team. And I can understand his frustrations being left behind Anthony, who, you could say hasn't performed. But if you're not putting it in training, even if it's just your punctuality issues that are affecting you, then the manager's going to look at you differently. There'll be some managers that allow those kind of things to slide because a player's talented or so what. This manager doesn't, whether you're Garnacho, Rashford, Ronaldo, whoever, the manager's treating everybody the same, and you have to adhere to those standards, and that's what Manchester United need. They need someone to come in and raise the standards. They need someone to come in and grab this ship and kind of stabilise things. You look at things around the team at the moment, the ownership situation, some of the situations with individual players. There's just so much to dislike, but this manager needs to be allowed to kind of take control of this and get Manchester United and those standards raised higher. Jadon Sancho is a player that I absolutely adore watching, and I really want to see him do well at Manchester United. In an ideal scenario, he'll use this to knuckle down, work hard, get back into the team. Everyone lives happily ever after. But you do feel the worst, especially if these issues are something that have been plaguing him for a while. Now, maybe this could be the moment the penny drops. Maybe him, training on his own away from the first team could be the moment that the penny drops. Because after Manchester United, if this is the reasons that you're going to be leaving, there's only so long you can blame a manager for. And what you're going to blame Southgate, Ten Hag, whoever was at Dortmund at the time as well, are all them to blame for this being an issue? I assume not. So you need to kind of knuckle down and grab and think, I've got such a big opportunity here, a massive club like Manchester United. The manager's hopefully going to build something. Grab it. Like the manager likes him as well. You don't give that time that he did to the player last season if there's not something there or he doesn't see something there. Now, this would have properly disappointed him, and hopefully Jadon Sancho uses it to knuckle down, work hard, fight for his spot, get back into that team. But I do kind of feel the worst, and maybe this is just, the separation before the ultimate separation in January or next summer or whenever that is. But such a talented player, man, and you'd hate to see these be the reasons why he doesn't succeed at Manchester United. I don't think the manager's to blame in this instance, and I mean, there'll be a lot of people, because a few results have gone our way, that'll be looking to point the finger at the manager. I think the manager's done as much as he possibly could. Unless there's something we're totally unaware of. The manager's seemingly done as much as he could, and he's gone for a different method. And this has been the reaction. Now, United have reacted to Jadon Sancho's reaction. He's not been training with the first team. How will he respond to that? The ball's in his court. Roll your sleeves up. Work hard. Get grafting. You said it in your statement that you released. You want to fight for this badge. You want to fight for this club. Then do it. Do it. Don't use this as the moment where you go, this is my way out. This is my easy way out. Fight for your spot. Because there's an opening there. Who knows what's going to go on with Anthony? You got two young lads. Amad Diallo's injured at the moment. You got Facundo Pellistri there. Grasp the opportunity. Don't be sulking about it because the manager's got high standards. That's what it's going to take to get Manchester United back to the top, because nothing else has worked in the last 10 years so far. We need to back this guy. That goes for everybody. And fingers crossed, Jadon Sancho is someone that responds to it positively. But I don't know. Remains to be seen what will happen. Let us know what you guys are thinking in those comments below. Make sure you're keeping it locked to the channel as well. Hopefully this is resolved with a positive outcome for Manchester United. But the way things are at the moment, you wouldn't be surprised to see more negative headlines. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with more content, and of course on Saturday with reaction to that Brighton game from Old Trafford. See you then.